Corporal Randall here. Don't forget to like the video, share the video, comment on the video if you really want to get on my good side. Okay, don't even know where to start on this one. Among the many freedoms we love and cherish so much in the United States is freedom of speech. A freedom that is constantly at this point being curtailed and cut back. You're no longer allowed to say what you think because it could offend someone. You can't state facts because how is someone going to react? Everything is now so polarized that we can't even agree on the facts to solve any problems because agreeing on facts may mean that words have meanings. Oh my, whatever shall we do? These words, they have meanings that have been accepted for generation, millennia. And now we can't use those words because someone's going to get hurt. The right to free speech and peaceful assembly are right up there near the top for all-time greatest rights issued in writing by government. I don't think that's one that we can really argue with, so I'm going to keep moving. Now, we have speech codes, words or phrases that we should no longer use because, again, everyone's a precious snowflake, and we don't want them to melt. With regard to these speech codes, now you have accredited writing establishments like the AP changing how things should be written to placate who, I'm not sure, other than their soft friends who work there. And by friends, I mean what used to be called your employees are now your friends and coworkers because we want them to feel like they're equals. When did you ever go to a job and have the ability to boss around your management? Now, in many areas of society, it's actively happening. The inmates are running the asylum, so to speak. I mean, the Associated Press now has a rule that if you're writing about Black people, you have to capitalize the word Black. However, if you're writing about white people, word white is still lowercase. Why? Because apparently Black people have a distinct history that white people don't. Makes no sense. Everyone knows it makes no sense. But because we have to continue with these speech codes, we have to slowly push things a little further. Let me explain something. Being progressive doesn't make you right. Actually, being progressive often is going to put you at direct conflict with other progressives. Why? Because every time you progress, you have to push it further. There's no end to progress. By definition, the word has to continue. You always are progressing towards something else. So no matter how far you push, how far you go, you'll never get to the promised land because it's not there. Another thing, how we have decided that in the interest of political correctness, we're going to further change words and meanings. Has anyone ever noticed that the more politically correct something becomes, the longer the explanation of what it is becomes? Let's take illegal alien, for instance. Illegal alien was simple. Everyone understood what it meant. Someone who was an unauthorized alien into our country. We had to change illegal alien to illegal immigrant. And then because no person is illegal, we had to change illegal immigrant to undocumented immigrant. Really? We are trying so hard to sit there and make ourselves feel better because of some, misplaced guilt that we are bending over backwards to destroy everything that we have in common, like language, for the sake of what? Assuaging some of your personal guilt or inner demons that you don't want to admit? Come on, get over yourself. You can't be that self-righteous. Or maybe you can. Freedom from speech. I mean, at this point, not only is it that we have to change all the words and ameliorate what we're saying to make everybody comfortable. Heaven forbid someone actually has a difference of opinion from you. Whatever would you do? So now, not only is it we got to change the words to make sure we soften them, the newer the euphemism, the better. So now we actually have we can't hear this speech because it's hate speech or speech is violence. I'm sorry, I've been through a few dust-ups in my lifetime, and at no point did someone's words injure me physically. I was never assaulted by a word. I never had a word break a bone or break my bones on any words. So speech is not violence. They've actually taken it so far now as you can't just be not racist. Because if you're not racist, then you're racist. In this new world order, you have to be anti-racist. Yes, they've changed it so that if you are not racist, have never done anything racist, and have never had a racist thought, the fact that you're not actively going out and looking for racists to condemn makes you a racist. You can't make this stuff up. You just can't. I mean, if I were a comedian and I wrote that down, or I were a Hollywood screenwriter and I wrote this down just 2-3 years ago, there's no chance in the world that I could have gotten that approved. If you like this video, feel free to share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when I post a new video. And if someone has never done anything racist, they're racist if they're not actively looking for someone to accuse of being racist. All these new speech codes and word and thought policing is antithetical to free speech. Let me circle back to you can't deal with hearing someone who disagrees with you because, again, speech is violence. Their words will physically harm you. So we've approved tacitly the heckler's veto, where they will scream and shout to make sure you can't be heard because your words could make someone else think. And when we're working in a mob, thought is not a good idea. People thinking independently may, lead them to rationally understand that what they're doing makes no sense and it's counterproductive. But you have to keep the mob riled up. So we got to make sure that nobody is independently thinking. You yell, you scream, you shout, you block traffic, you don't let the people come in. Why? Because you don't want other people to hear words that offend you. You're showing up someplace where you don't want to be. To make sure someone else can't hear someone they would like to hear thoughts from. Again, you are not mandatory to be there. You are showing up not because you want to be there, but rather because you don't want the person that's there to get their ideas out. See, for me, this entire new sphere has motivated me in many ways. The entire purpose of me doing these videos is to get as many of my thoughts in other people's heads as possible, to challenge the narrative of what is acceptable, what is not acceptable. And in addition, force you to realize that not everyone is in line with you. It's actually funny. All of this, we need to shut down speech, is the exact opposite of the free speech movement, which was started by liberals at UC Berkeley back in the 60s, because they wanted the right to be able to have political speech on campus. Go figure. Just a few generations later, we've decided that not only do we not want political speech on campus, we only want speech that we have already screened and agree with. We can't read great works of literature or view great movies of the past because they may be culturally insensitive for the modern viewer. So what next? I mean, we already have it. So that apparently if you have a cartoon on television and you have any characters that are Black or Hispanic or Asian, by today's standards, they can only be voiced by someone who is already Black, Hispanic, or Asian. Now, this just makes me laugh because I would assume that being a voice actor required you to, in some way, act. So you can't be a voice actor unless you are what the character is. By definition, is that not just being yourself? That is the opposite of acting. I've been in a couple plays, nothing major, just small stuff, but I understand that I'm neither a lawyer nor am I a sheriff. But I was able to play one on stage. Don't forget Hit the like and subscribe, like and subscribe, like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you know when I post a new video. Corporal Randall, out.